Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. This is a live stream being broadcast from Huntington Beach, California. And it's great to see you all in here. I've tried my best to uh, do what I can. Um, Let me see here. I thought I saw something. Okay, I was looking for something. Okay. Um, this is a being broadcast from Surf City, USA, south of Los Angeles. I'm 3 blocks from the ocean, and I've been doing this for over 2 years. I took a little time off in the latter part of December and January. I started back in February. And I do this 3 times a day at 8 o'clock in the morning, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 6 p.m. at night. And I really want to help you with your CPS matter. Now, a lot of you may not know what CPS is. Um, well, it's a government entity that works out of social service that was created in the 60s by Congress. An act of Congress told social services to enter and to protect our children from uh, to protect our children from neglect and abuse. And furthermore, um, this uh, uh, this particular live stream will help you with finding an attorney. That is the key to success, because the allegations against you be uh, uh, may not be true. So you got to be careful, because the allegations. See, a lot of parents don't know that just because there's allegations doesn't mean you have to surrender your children. And you need that attorney to fight that. You see, this is the whole problem, is that I too was a victim of CPS. And so um, I had to hire an attorney. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, we have nobody in the room yet. Um, so I hopefully will get someone in there soon. Uh, One moment, please. Uh, I'm back again. I had to take a quick time out to text a message. So hopefully people will be coming into this room soon. Now, there's been over 2,500 people that I've talked to. It's from around the world, not only from the United States, all 50 states I've talked to, but I've also talked to um, people uh, from around the world, places like South Africa. And just this past week has been Scotland. Talked to Heather Stewart there from Scotland. And then, of course, there's England and Wales. They've been participating. 6 provinces in Canada: Nova Scotia, Ontario, Vancouver, Edinburgh. I'm trying, Edmonton, I think it is. Anyway, and then there's, of course, New Zealand and Australia. I've talked to several people there, Indonesia and Bangladesh and India, and then several countries in South Africa, and then one country in the Middle East. One country in the Middle East. So I'm here to help you get an attorney, to help you fight. I've developed 5 rules that will help you fight CPS. If I had known, I would never have my kids taken. See, my kids were wrongly taken, and it's sad because 50% of the CPS entities you encounter will be corrupt, and it seems like the all over 2,500 people said that they are. I can't say 100% because every county in every state will have a CPS system. In the world, they're in cities, but I don't know too much about how the government watchdogs them or anything else. I know in the United States, there's no supervision, no board of directors, no supervisors. They're pretty much free to do what they want to do. They do have a director and managers and supervisors, but it's all about money. It's a $1 trillion business. It's all about money. It's all about money. So I like to help you along those ways there. I see we have 1 thumbs up. That's good. We got 2 people in the room, and that's really powerful. And to post a comment, all you have to do is um, to um, type in your request, and I will answer it. I will answer it. Hopefully, they will come in. The comments will come in and stuff like that. Um, Now, to be on my live stream, you can uh, either text me a request or call me. Now, the call me or text me a request, let me get there. Let me put up there. To be a guest on my live stream, you just email me or you can text me. So either text or email. Now, my phone number, direct line, is 626 698 0990. And my email is Bob P at VincentWDavis.com. Bob P at VincentWDavis.com. And I'll be able to um, put you on the show, and I can take up to 9 of you at one time. So please text me or email me, and I can do that. I can do that. You text me, that number is 626 698 0990, or email me at Bob P at VincentWDavis.com. And I'll put you on the show here. You can call in at 626 698 0990, but right now I'm not taking phone calls because I only have 1 device. It takes 2 devices to work this live stream. I need 1 on the phone, which is Vonage, which is the phone program I use. And then on my computer, it's SteamYard. But right now, my computer's waiting on a part I ordered that last Friday. It should be in any day now, and I can get my computer up and running. And so I let me see. We have somebody. Oh, hello there, Brandy Joe DeWitt. My daughter has been in state custody for 601. That's over 2 years. And you say state custody. Well, what state? Where are you calling from, Brandy? What city and state? Because the states don't take custodies of the children. Only the Child Protection System does, which is a county organization. So help me out with some information, Brandy. I'd love to help you. Welcome too. A warm welcome. That's wrong for your daughter to be in custody for 2 years. That's wrong. That's wrong. You know, they can make allegations, but unless they can show concrete proof in court, they can't take your child. It seems like their rigor thing is to hear an allegation They believe the allegation is true, so you're guilty. They come to your home, and for whatever reason it is, they automatically want to take your child. Why? Because they get money. They get $20,000 per child per month. That's a lot of money for taking care of a child. And CPS uses it to give bonuses to employees. I know that firsthand because my social worker bragged all the time about uh, her Gucci purse that she got every week, her BMW car, her clothing, and so forth. All the nice things as a single person. And I know they don't make that much money. And there was a cutback many years ago, and a lot of the longtime social workers were let go. So I know that historically. In 2010, a little before that time, maybe 2009, uh, state of California, and this is California, was running low on money. And so the governor at that time, and you may remember him, I'll be back, that governor, um, took the thing to cut back CPS and get rid of the longtime good CPS workers and institute very young, not college educated. I don't know if a high school education, but anyway, I have another comment from Brandy. Hopefully, she can tell me where she's from. Um, Brandy further says, "Yes, we call CPS the custody state custody. Okay, that's all right. That's 19 months and 21 days. I got to be careful with what I post due to having an open case working on reunification. Understand? Just popped on. They give me the county, the state and the county. That's fine. There's too many people in there. I'm glad that you are here, Brandy. But if you can tell me the state and the county, that would be great. Um, you know, uh, but 19 months and 21 days, they got to have proof. Do you have an attorney, Brandy? Do you have an attorney that is helping you get reunification? Because reunification is usually a year-long process. Because the longest program you need to take is domestic violence. That is a 52-week class. Once a week for 52 weeks, you go do domestic violence. And it's a year-long process. It isn't quick. Now the parenting classes, a lot of them are just 4 weeks, a month long. Some of them may be 6 months, like a drug rehab. Whether it's alcohol or narcotics. It is that. So uh, uh, so, do you have an attorney, Brandy? Do you have an attorney? Can you tell me what state? That would be good if you tell me what state is. Uh, there are thousands of cases that CPS has, tens of thousands. It's ridiculous. They seem to round up every child, whether its allegations are true or not, and that's wrong. That's against the law. Oh, you had substance use issue, but been clean since they took her. Okay, so you have probably taken a drug program. I don't know if it's 6 months or how much it's been. And then you probably had to take some parenting classes, and you probably got to get tested once a week or once a month. I don't know what your program is. You have to do those things. But you have a real attorney, not a court appointed attorney. I'm trying to determine what you have because the difference between a real attorney, a court appointed attorney, and a pro bono attorney, there's three kinds of attorneys, not the backgrounds, but the types of attorneys. A real attorney is someone that's educated and got a license, passed a bar exam, and that person is usually trained in dependency law, family law, and juvenile law to fight CPS. That's a good attorney. That's a true attorney. Now, a second attorney is an attorney that CPS hires to work for them. They are called a court appointed attorney. If you can't afford one, they provide you one, but they work for CPS. CPS keeps them so busy, they don't have time to meet with you otherwise in the hallways of the courts. And that's sad. That is a sad arrangement. But that's basically what you uh, uh, have to do, I guess. The last attorney is called a pro bono, and it's a 50-50 shot. You'll get a pro bono that has the experience and that wants to help you. I've heard of too many people being disappointed. I've heard of too many people being disappointed. So I um, want to help you with your selection of your attorney, how to find an attorney. It does involve money. You know, it's sad. I had to sell my 7-digit home to hire Mr. Davis. He's the attorney that I use, and he's the attorney I work for. And that number 888-888-6582 is the law office of Vincent Davis. He has many attorneys there. He himself specializes in CPS. He has over 40 years, getting close to 40 years of experience. 40 years of experience, and he is well educated in dependency law, family law, and um, juvenile law. He also has experience in civil law and criminal law. He's a trial attorney. He's probably the best package you can come with. If your case and you're found not guilty and you win your case, you can do a civil lawsuit and go after the social service for millions of dollars. Millions of dollars, you go after them. And they will be able to, it not to repair, bring back what you lost, but it will help. It will help there. So anyway, Brandy, it's good that you joined me. I need to know more about your case. You can be generic speaking, but are you using a real attorney, a court appointed attorney, or a pro bono attorney? A pro bono, by the way, means no money. And it's important. A lot of people get attorneys, but they get the wrong kind. You need a one that's dependency law, family law, and juvenile law. CPS is the dependency matter. Family is a specialized law that deals with family issues, and juvenile deals with the children, So that's why the background is so important. So when you're looking for an attorney, you want to get 3 quotes. And you have several things to do. First, you need to use the internet, and um, either use Google search or use Chat GPT. Those are 2 of them I know. There's other ones out there, and those are the 2 primary ones. I think Chat GPT was the first AI search engine that came out. There's other ones too. I think there's called Grunt or Grook from Twitter. That is now X, from X. That's Elon Musk's company he bought. Anyway, there's that one. But this is very important. When you ask a question, it's the format of words will help you get the best results. Now, the first thing you want to put on is to put in your city and your state. If you're out of the country, instead of putting the state, you can put your province, if you have a province, and your country. That whether you're in the States, United States, or out in the country, follow with the letters CPS, all capitalized. So the city, state, or country, CPS, and then a lot of things will pop up for that particular location. Now, if you want to be further filtered, then after CPS, write what you're looking for. Pro bono attorney in the areas of dependency law, family law, juvenile law. Or what is the 388? Or what is the ICWA 1979 Act? It's the Indian Child Welfare Act, and I can explain about that later. What is a 160 hearing? What's a 180 hearing? So that's what you need to do. And that's one of my rules is use the internet. It's very important that you use the internet. And then to get an attorney, so you type in city state or country, and then you put CPS, and you say the attorney in the area of family law, juvenile law, dependency law. I put dependency law first, then family, then juvenile. And a bunch of attorneys will pop up in your area. And from that list, you go and review their sites and see which ones maybe talk about CPS or something like that. But you're going to have to make 3 important phone calls. Now, one phone call I'm helping you with, because the attorney I'm telling you the contact is Vincent W. Davis. And I've already said he's schooled and educated in dependency law, family law, and juvenile law. And he has over 40 years of fighting CPS. He's also trained in civil law and criminal law. He's a trial attorney. He can do trial. He specializes. He can do it. He's an excellent attorney. Now, his fees, by the way, for where his office is in Arcadia, you're working out of LA County, it's approximately $5,000 retainer, and he's $550 an hour. Now, those are approximate figures. You need to talk to him to get the right numbers. And his number is 888-888-6582. Now, when you call in, make sure you tell him that Bob Pae sent you. And when you talk to the office staff, direct them over to Vincent Davis and tell them that Bob Pae said to contact Vincent Davis. And then when you talk to Mr. Davis, make sure you say you talked to Bob Pace and that's why you're calling him. And then he can go over your fees and so forth. Now, you ask 2 very important questions. Now, the answer to these questions is yes with Mr. Davis. But for the other 2 attorneys, you ask a question, are you educated and trained in dependency law, family law, and juvenile law, and have fought CPS cases and won? The answer is yes. You ask a very important second question. Have you ever done, after the case is over, have you ever done a civil lawsuit against CPS? If the answer is yes, that's a bonus. If you can't, if they haven't done that, then that makes you wonder how good of an attorney they are, because most attorneys will not sue CPS. They're scared. They're scared because why? They are so powerful because they have so much money. There are endless coffers of money. You want to know DOJ, the Department of Government Efficiency, where all the money in government waste is going? It's going to CPS. It's not going to take care of children or help out with families or anything else. You see, and you're in Bellflower, Illinois. Okay, Jessica Crow, glad to meet you. We have Brandy from somewhere that has a horrible case, it sounds like. I tried to ask her if she had a attorney or not. There's Jessica Crow, who just dropped in from Bellflower, Illinois. Welcome. You're about the 3rd or 4th person I have from Illinois, and that is great. Anyway, so you ask. The second question is, have you ever done a civil lawsuit against an entity and won? So if the answer is yes to both those questions, that's a candidate. So now you got Vincent Davis, which I already done for you, and then you got 2 more to come up with. Then what you're going to do, and you may want to find 5, because maybe the top 3, one of them may drop out or whatever. So I recommend looking for 5, and you're going to pick 3 to interview. And I've already told you a lot about Mr. Davis, but you should still need to call him because you got to see if the chemistry's right. It's very important you have good chemistry with your attorney. Good morning, Lieutenant Eve from LA, and thank you for your comment and so forth. And yeah, report them to DOJ. Good idea. Good idea. Department of Government Efficiency is a government agency, and I have to relook up their phone numbers again. There's 2 of them, and they go to the White House. It's area code 202. Since they stopped my show, they've had a new format, and I don't have my notes. All my notes and things are missing. But I used to have a note about how to contact the DOJ, Department of Government Efficiency. So Thank you for reminding me that, intended Eve. And it's DOGE, not J, not Department of Justice. It's DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, intended Eve. And uh, Jessica Kroll, is there a question for me? Brandy, do you have an attorney? Can you tell me more? I want to help you, Brandy. So anyway, you're talking to the three attorneys, and you've yeah, out of of the five. So you got five, and then you picked a new one, and so that is how it's suited. So um, anyway, uh, that's how to select an attorney. Because see, that attorney is going to fight you. Now, if you can't afford an attorney, you're either going to have to find a pro bono attorney or you're going to have to use a court appointed attorney. Now, I just forewarned you, the court appointed attorney doesn't have the background in fighting CPS. They're brand new, starting in law. They work for CPS, they're paid by CPS, and they won't give you much time. And most of the time, they're lazy and they won't fight for you. If an allegation that you have is untrue, then it should be fought. The allegations have to be proved. The allegations have to be proved. And it's sad when they're not, because they take, you see, power is given to policemen and social workers. And it's wrong because sometimes they abuse the power. Not all policemen are bad, not all social workers are bad. But I'm just guessing 50%. It's a 50-50 shot you're going to encounter a bad policeman or a bad social worker. Now, why are the policemen involved with the CPS? Well, that is a real important thing to think about. The reason why police are involved in CPS, officially, they're supposed to protect the workers. But behind the scenes, CPS uses them because a person dressed in combat gear, very intimidating, will enforce what they want to do, even though it's wrong. Policemen are not supposed to enforce or do the work of CPS workers. But a lot of times they're trapped into it or talked into it. Policemen are supposed to serve the public, to protect and serve is their motto. Protect and serve. Supposed to protect residents, and that is from crime. And believe me, CPS is committing a lot of crimes. They're uncontrolled right now, and they need to be stopped and changed. Now, there was a great woman in Georgia, a senator in Georgia, that was murdered because she's on the verge of making major changes in Congress. You see, Congress is the one that made this agency. Congress is the one that needs to change this agency or mandate. Congress is powerful. I don't know. Maybe the new president is powerful too. So maybe contact the new president and tell him how wrong CPS is a good thing. I know that the president that we have is more approachable than most people, most presidents. He's not a politician, he's a businessman. And he operates like a business. And he's very strong and powerful. Right now, he's trying to rid the world of crime. He's trying to rid the world. He's trying to stop the influx of a very bad drug that's killed millions of people in the United States. He's after the cartel in Mexico. He's not afraid to go into Mexico to chase the cartel or have a country enforce their laws with a cartel. He's not afraid to go into another country and move a leader. He's already done that. And he's not afraid to find a country that is so radically wrong for 40 years to rid them of their leaders, cut off the head of the snake. You see, that's the idea. If you cut off the head of the snake then becomes less powerful. Now, there's going to be a transition. It's going to affect the world, but maybe our president can do something about CPS faster than Congress has. Our trouble with Congress, they're all politicians. They always point to figures. It's one party against the other party, and they're at fault. And it's sad because instead of being together for 4 years and supporting the newly elected president, he was elected fair and square. He won both votes. He won the electoral vote and he won the popular vote. So, and he, he's very fair, but they're still trying to impeach him. They waste our money and they waste our time chasing stupid things. But CPS needs to be brought to the current president because he will make a change. I know he will. And so, um, you know, the tactics are very extreme. I mean, he closed the borders, period. He didn't allow open borders. The problem is a lot of the people that have murdered people, that have hurt people and things have filtered across the United States and have generations where they've had children here. And that is a very complex problem, how to deal. When they go into cities, and then politics will come involved and emotions. And then people, I don't think people were murdered. I think that what happens is an accidental because people are controlled by emotions. And that's what CPS is all about, emotions. And with emotions, you just have to be, careful with your emotions. Also, the fact that the child protection system, which I call CPS, has many different names: the Department of Children and Family Services. It's called the Cabinet in Richmond, Kentucky. Whatever it is, I just call it CPS, stands for the Child Protection System. And so, anyway, I would like you all to listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, and be very careful because this agency, doesn't care about parents or children. They traffic children. Automatically, 100% of the time, they take the child out of the home. They hear that maybe the child has bruises. Now, maybe the child had played a sport and got the bruises, but they right away think the parent hit them. Now, there is physical abuse in the form of physical alterations or even mental abuse, besides neglect. There's two areas that they're supposed to protect. They're supposed to protect abuse to a child and neglect. Now, abuse, a lot of people forget there's a mental abuse that they do. If a child is placed into a dark closet as a punishment or made to stand on rocks that are sharp. I know firsthand from talking to a person in this room. Her name was Faye. She's from Richmond, Kentucky, and growing up as a teenager, she was in foster care through no fault of her own. She loved her mother, but her mother was bad. Her mother was into drugs and wasn't able to take care of her. So she got caught up in the CPS system. And that haunt people. Usually people, when they're as a small child, are caught up in the system, that records will follow them. So they need to expunge their records. If you are a child or under the age of 18 and you're in this room, make sure that when you are now settled in your life, either with a foster care or with your regular parents, that you have your records expunged because it will follow you. So when you have children, CPS is notorious to come after you and your child. And I'm telling you that. You need to have that record expunged. And I'm telling a lot of information because I've learned a lot in the last, 28 months. I mean, it's been over 2 years and over 2,000, I think close to 2,600 people. And yeah, it's important. Thank you, Lieutenant Eve, for talking about surveillance. Yes, it's a good idea. This age of technology, we have cell phones, and we have computers and other devices, and they may not work 100% correct. Like right now, I'm trying to adjust my picture so you can see me all right. Uh, but having a camera mounted at a door that is hardwired, a lot of people uh, can use devices that block the wireless signal. You see, technology, the crooks keep up with it. The wireless cameras and wireless alarms are great, but the only downside of those wireless devices is that a signal can be emitted that'll block the signal and disable it. That's why it's hardwire is the best way to go. And the wires should be concealed so they can't easily see it. And in new homes, I think it should be mandatory. And you probably say, well, that's a lot of money. No, technology is so cheap now that for under $500, you can really have a good camera and a good protection of your home. Your home is like your castle. When your front door is closed, no one can come in without your permission. No one can come in. You don't have to answer the door. The only time a policeman can come into your home and break your door down is that if there's a crime in progress taking place. But crime in progress is taking place, like a child being beat up, wrestling for a gun, there's a home invasion, whatever the case may be. If there's immediate danger, the policeman will break the door down and enter it. They have the right to do so. But unless there's no immediate danger, which most of the time there isn't, there's only been an allegations made. And the police are brought along with a social worker because the police are there to protect the social worker, but the social worker uses them to enforce what they want to do. That's the sad part about it. Now, that's not all true with all people. But the third thing is a warrant. You got to have a warrant to take a child, to enter your home when you don't want them in there, to talk to you. You never want to talk to a social worker or even the police because everything you say will be held against you. You are entitled by the Constitution, your constitutional rights, your civil rights, is that anytime there's a legal matter, you're allowed representation. So if you establish there's a legal matter, you can tell the policeman or the social worker that this is a legal matter. I need to have my attorney present. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. There's no need, unless the child's in immediate danger, like there's a knife in his stomach, or I'm using exaggerations. So a warrant is it seems to be an easy document to get these days because the judges are lazy. But a warrant can be given if the policeman or the social worker proves to the judge that there's imminent danger of that child. Imminent danger. That means they're going to die. Yeah, and Eve, I appreciate the background that you're telling us, but there's no need to get into the details of politics about that. So, I'm only saying 50%. I don't want to say all judges are bad, all policemen are bad, and all. I mean, I've had police training, I've had EMT training. I used to be an ocean lifeguard, and I have a very extensive background. I can make arrests, and I have done arrests. I have gone to court like a policeman does, and so I know how the system works. And so, we got to say 50%. Now, it's been 100% with the 2,000, over 2,500 people in here. 100% have said the social workers and police are bad. But you have to understand, in California, there's 50 counties. That means there's 50 CPS uh, offices or child protection systems. They may be called different names, but it's child protection systems. In North Carolina, there's over 100. And you're probably wondering, well, why? California's bigger. Why? North Carolina's been around a long time. and maybe they created more back then. And California has been a state for a long time, but North Carolina, I think, was longer. But I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But every county in every state has a child protection systems office. As I say, it's called different names. It's called different names. Now, again, if you guys that are writing in comments can tell me what you like me to answer, I will. I don't need to keep talking, but I need to keep something going as information because our people listen, and this is recorded, be later played. So I want to have some substance to this live stream. And so it's very important that you get a lawyer to do this. It's just like when you fly a plane, um, when you fly a plane somewhere, no, you're going to get a pilot or learn to be a pilot. Well, even attorneys that are trained in the area of dependency law, family law, juvenile law. There's one called KK Richardson in New York, Brooklyn, New York. She has her live stream on her show at 8 o'clock at night, and it's 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But it's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. They're 3 hours ahead. On her show, she is a full-blown dependency, trained in dependency law, family law, and juvenile law. She's a CPS attorney, and she has a problem with her own kids, but she still gets an attorney because it's hard to defend yourself. Because the biggest problem that people have, and I know from experience, is emotions. Emotions will take over us. We see something wrong, we recognize it's wrong, and when you have a corrupt individual or individuals, it makes it difficultly hard. There's too many people that are apprehended, they end up being killed. One person killed is enough. There's a story of a lady in LA. He was talking to two sheriffs, a deputy, and I guess, I don't know what you call a full one. But anyway, he was arguing with her. I think she was washing pans. She let him in the house, and he shot her in the face. Now, he has been fired. He's being prosecuted, but that happened. There's a black man that answered the door in Florida, an Air Force man serving our country. His mother lives in Alabama. He answered the door, and he was shot 5 times, not one time. I don't know why policemen do 5 times. I think the gun has 6 rounds or something, or 8 rounds, but 5 times. You don't need that. I mean, the guy he had a gun, but it was pointed downward, and he had a right to bear an arm. And he was talking to his girlfriend, and it was a mistaken identity. They thought domestic violence was happening. There were people fighting, but that wasn't the case. And again, the sheriff in Gainesville, Florida, you can look all this up on the internet. There's a lot of stories I can relate to you about. So I'm just trying to emphasize what is going on. What is going on? And I see people are coming and going. Again, I love to have a question. You guys have a question? It's a good time. I'm giving you the chance. This is free. You don't have to pay a dime to listen to me. But this can maybe save your life. And I will say, there's a gentleman named David Hilago. He's from Santa Maria, California. He had a bad case in Santa Barbara County. He listened to my show. I recommended Vincent Davis. He hired him. And Vincent Davis defended him and won his case after about 6 months. And in 40 days, 45 days, his daughter will be returned to him. There's a transition period because she's been so poisoned by the in-laws, by the family members. They fabricate a story and they convince the girl, she's young, she's only 10 years old, that her dad inappropriately touched her, and he has a son. They didn't take the son, they took the daughter, but they had no grounds to take the daughter because none of it was true. And the daughter, of course, at 10, changed the story several times because of the in-laws that are brainwashing and telling them something wrong. They don't like the idea. A lot of people I know firsthand. My case was generated by my in-laws, by my wife's mother, father, her three sisters, and her brother. They'd call in once a week that we were doing something wrong with our children. Now, both my wife and I are college educated, well to do, living in a beautiful home, a 7-digit home, a mile to the beach, exclusive private neighborhood. It was a private neighborhood with CC&Rs. It's not gated, but it's marked private. You really can't come into the neighborhood unless you're a homeowner or you're visiting someone that gave you permission to come in. So there's nothing wrong. Our three kids were in school, great schools. One was a private high school, and my son was on an engineering track. My daughter is at a high level middle school, been around a long time and very high end there, and she's taken, again, college prep classes. And then my youngest son was still in elementary school. All three kids went through the same elementary and the same middle school. And so they're well to do in school. This incident with CPS ruined them in their school. It was sad. It really was sad. They're exhibiting still problems today. One is 25, one is 23, and one is 20. The 25-year-old and the 20-year-old moved out just recently. I have 6 children, and I have over 43 years of marriage experience and 61 years of life skill. I've been working for 61 years. I'm a 76-year-old dinosaur. And, but I feel forever young, and I still, I'm trying to stay healthy and so forth. Again, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the 2 thumbs up in there. I want to thank Antenna E from Los Angeles, California, in my room here. Also want to thank a new person, um, Jessica Crow from Bellflower, Illinois, and then Brandy Joe DeWitt from somewhere. But she has an open case and she doesn't want to risk everything. But she has substance abuse. But her children have been taken from her for a total of 100, 600 some days. You know, the best parents has been proven. The best parents are the biological parents. They are the best parents, the biological parents. Now, I was just listening to Vincent Davis on Facebook talk about how children are necessarily taken from parents. There's no proof. They have to substantiate. A lot of parents don't know the law. That's why the attorney is so important. That's why the attorney is so important. When I hired Mr. Davis, he helped me get 2 of my 3 children. The sad part is one child was coached by the judge, the social worker, and her CASA. Now, CASA stands for Court Appointed Service Advocate. And they told her that since she was 12 years old, she could divorce her parents. So she took that. She thought her home life was miserable. I don't know. I think one thing I learned as a parent, I never want to repeat it again, is I spoiled my kids. Everything they wanted, I gave to them. I didn't have designated chores. I should have had chores for them. And I should have been more of a disciplinarian. I let them pretty much do what they wanted to do. Those are mistakes of parents, but nothing to break my family apart, nothing to hurt their education or hurt themselves' well-being. Now, my 23-year-old doesn't see her mom and dad. It was a sad divorce because I remember when the judge sat there and said, you know, when you get a divorce from your parents, you also divorce your brothers, your grandparents, both grandmas, both grandpas, your aunts and uncles, and all your cousins. You no longer are a part of the Pace family. And she went ahead with that because she was so, because why? I unfortunately lost my job and I had a hard time in the age of the 60s of getting a job. And I lost it through no fault of my own. But when you lose it, your lifestyle suddenly is changed. I had a really expensive lifestyle. I did create my lifestyle based on my income, not my wife's income. She was a mother, full-time mother, and she took care of the kids at home. So I based the lifestyle on my income. What you should do, and I hate to say this, is you should adjust your lifestyle on half of your income. Or both of you working, then you do half of the incomes, and that's what you should base your lifestyle on. I mean, your bills should not be more than half your income. That way, you have a reserve that you can take care of the family. Again, these are life skills. There's a lot of life skills you'll learn in here. A lot of life skills. I can teach you a lot of life skills. I have over 50 years as a volunteer in the Scouts of America. They used to be called the Boy Scouts. Now they're called Scouts because now they got girls involved in the Boy Scout program. But I've been a volunteer and an advisor to the Boy Scouts for over 50 years. I've also given my time to the American Red Cross in a lot of ways. I started very early on in the sixth grade, put together donation boxes to help out the people that needs. I later became a swimming instructor at age 17, and later an instructor trainer where I could teach other people how to teach. I also got involved in disaster and became a director of disaster, a manager of shelters, a manager of director operations, and would go with all kinds of problems, the hurricanes in Guam, or the fires in Malibu, or the earthquake in Northridge, or the floods. So I've worked in floods and earthquakes and fires and hurricanes. And so I have a lot extensive. I've also been on the board of directors for the American Red Cross for, I think, over 10 years with the American Red Cross. So I have a well background of over 50 years I've given to the American Red Cross. And then I've also another organization that I give a lot of time to, was a surfing organization, the United States Surfing Federation and the International Surfing Association, as well as several others. I organizes organizations for sports and helped surf become Olympic sport. I'm one of the early pioneers to help surfing become a sport. I pushed for it. I pushed for it. Today it's a sport. So those three areas I worked on. I dabbled a little bit in AYSO soccer because my kids were in soccer and I was a referee. I was a referee, intermediate referee in AYSO soccer. So my background is very different. It really is. It really is. I mean, as I say, besides working as an ocean lifeguard, I've worked as a marine animal trainer, training killer whales and dolphins and pilot whales and even penguins and parrots. So I've worked there. I've also been manager of a seafood restaurant, big time seafood restaurant. So I've had that experience. I've been a school teacher in secondary education, teaching AP, biology, and chemistry. That's advanced placement, college level classes in high school. I've taught at the university, first aid, and a recitation class, and several other things. So I've taught at universities, I've taught at high schools, and I teach for the Red Cross. So I have a teaching background, pretty extensive. I have a background in a lot of other areas too. I've worked to make my money as a civil engineer, working in heavy highway construction. So, I've served on a lot of different things. I served on the Blue Ribbon Task Force for the city of Los Angeles, working for the mayor. So I have had my dabbles in everything, and I've played a lot of sports too. surfing and rugby and baseball, and of course football. Football is one I really love to follow and play. That's been really a beautiful sport. Football has been. Anyway, as you see, I have a lot of extensive background that I can help you. All you have to do is ask me a question, and it should be specifically tuned in to CPS. How do we get an attorney? How do you do a 388 form? What is a 388 form? What is ICWA? Now, I mentioned ICWA, Indian Child Welfare Act. It was an act by Congress that took 200 years in the making, but it's supposed to protect your children. Very sadly, the first immigrants of North America, the Native American Indians, came over from Asia into Alaska and Canada and the United States, down into Mexico, then later into South America. That was the migration of the people. And that's over 10,000 years ago. 10,000 years ago. So, no, Columbus didn't discover North America. He discovered a Caribbean island. He was trying to find a passage to India. And so he called those people Indians because of India. That's how the Native American Indians got the name Indians. Now, in Canada, they're called the First Nation people. The First Nation. So we have the First Nation, the Native American. And it's sad because those Indians were rounded up and put on reservations. Their children were taken from families, never to be seen again, and assimilated into the culture that was existing in the United States, the European culture. I carefully use color in describing people because we are a mixture of color here in the United States. Yes, there's black, white, yellow, red, but we're all Americans. After you're born here, you're considered American if you're born of a U.S. citizen. Now, there's some discrepancy people talk about that. Should a drug lord that has a child here, should his children be considered American U.S. citizens and get free education, everything when this guy is into? I think they're trying to change. I'm not sure about that, but they're trying to say children that are born of U.S. citizens will become U.S. citizens. But if you're a child born of a non-U.S. citizen, you need to become a U.S. citizen, and one way is to learn the history and government and speak the common language. But going back to ICWA, ICWA was an act passed that stopped the immediate taking of Indian children, especially in CPS cases. If they're registered and they're registered of a federal recognized tribe, there's almost 600 tribes. If they're registered as a federal recognized tribe, then they're called an Indian, and the Indians take care of their own on their reservation. So if a person has a CPS matter, then the tribe will help that person back. They'll put them with an Indian family to take care of them and get them back, because Indian people are good about taking care of their families. It's hard. It's hard. The American Indian is hard. Anyway, I'm looking at my time right now. I need to run the ending of my show. There's a short video. Please watch it. And again, you'll see me again at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock at night, and 8 o'clock in the morning. God bless y'all, and really have a good day. And think about fighting for your children. God bless y'all, and I'll see you at 1 o'clock. Please listen to the video.
vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted, and if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.